Hey guys, and welcome back into the channel. Well, today we're going to be doing a quick video on Friday Night Lights, the television series, not the movie. Both are absolutely amazing, so if you haven't seen either one, or you've only seen one and haven't seen the other, I suggest and I recommend you check them both out. They're both really, really well done. I'm, in general, with most things, but with this particular with the show in particular, I am more partial to the television series than I am the movie. Like I said, they're both really well done, but I really, really, really enjoyed this television show. This series, I started watching it not when it was actually on. I didn't watch it like when it was airing, but I watched it on Netflix. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015. So the show had already been done and completed for a few years, but I just finished rewatching season 1 last night, so I want to do a quick review of just the whole season as a whole. Season 1 of this show is, I kind of think, is like just a perfect masterpiece. It's like a perfect story from beginning to end. Obviously, the season begins with Coach Taylor, played by Kyle Chandler, who I got to say did a fantastic job with this character. I don't honestly know what he's done post Friday Night Lights, and I don't exactly know what he did before Friday Night Lights, but what I do know is as Eric Taylor in this show, he was phenomenal. The acting across the board in this first season is extremely well done. But the season kind of begins, so you get this guy who had been a coach in a lot of other areas, but is new to Dillon, which is the town and the high school. The Dillon Panthers is the team. He's new to the program. So he has a star quarterback in Jason Street, who is one of the most highly recruited players in all of the nation. Notre Dame is recruiting him heavily. They show that in the first episode. The recruiter goes as far to say he's the greatest quarterback he's seen in his entire career as a scout. So this is like a top player that they have at quarterback. He had been, Eric Taylor, the coach, had been his quarterback coach, had trained him on the side for years and years and years. So, like, they had already had a built-in relationship, which in large part is why Eric Taylor gets the job. So the show starts with him taking over this program, a program that has had a lot of success throughout the years, is football crazy, if you will. And right from the get-go, he knows if he does not win, if he does not have success from the beginning, from the start, his job will be on the line. This is not a job or a position or a community where losing will be accepted. So he kind of knows that it's a difficult job he's taking over. Yes, he's got a lot of talent, but the expectations are as high as they could ever possibly be. On top of having quarterback Jason Street, you also have running back Brian Smash Williams, who's kind of like the, what would I say? Like, he's the cockiest member of the team. You know, he's the guy with the most talent outside of maybe Jason Street. He's an African-American running back, extremely fast, extremely talented, extremely vocal, and he's very, like, he's one of those guys, he'll talk about himself in the third person almost at all times. He really believes in his own hype, and obviously his future is to make it to the NFL one day. He comes from a family. His dad isn't around. He was killed at a young age, raised by his mom and a bunch of sisters. She works her tail off just to give him the decent life that he's able to have. But he doesn't have a lot, so football means everything to him. It's not only a pathway for him to success throughout life, but it's a way to build up his entire family. He talks about throughout the season, making it pro so he can give his mom a big home, help his sisters out, help them go to school. The money is not just about him, or the money is not just for him, it's for his whole family. So he's a real interesting character. And you got probably most people's favorite character from the show. You got Tim Riggins, who plays fullback. First of all, the idea that he's a high school like sophomore or junior at the time is ridiculous. He looks like he's 30. He's like a big time alcoholic. His dad is not around. I'm not sure where his mom is, but his dad is not around. His brother takes care of him. His brother's kind of he's not a bad guy, but he comes across as kind of slimy, kind of scummy. He's also a big time drunk, but their relationship's interesting throughout the season. Tim Riggins is kind of like the guy throughout the season that he sleeps with lots of girls. He's not serious about really any girl for any type of consistent period of time. He's also a guy who he kind of hides his feelings. He doesn't like to talk. He'd rather just drink his feelings away. He's a really interesting character, and like I said, he's one of the most popular characters throughout the entirety of the show, but particularly in this first season. Then you got Eric Taylor's wife, Tammy Taylor, who's like kind of the support system for the entire cast. She ends up being the counselor at the school, which complicates things with Coach Taylor later on in the season, which I'll get to. Then you got Matt Saracen, the starting quarterback, who takes over, as I did not get into it. Jason Street, who is the star quarterback, ends up getting paralyzed in the first game of the season. And holy smokes, that is an absolutely electric, amazing episode. One of the better episodes I've seen in TV history. I think it's a perfect episode. The pilot is what I'm discussing here. And when he gets hurt, sophomore Matt Saracen, who had no intentions of playing, did not have any confidence in himself, was a really shy kid. He ends up having to take over the spot for Jason Street, and the expectations are still as high as they ever, as high as the expectations were before Jason Street. They remain that high with Matt Saracen. And so you have him throughout the whole first season having to deal with that. And then on top of things, he ends up getting in a relationship with Julie Taylor, who is the daughter of Coach Eric Taylor and the daughter of his wife, Tammy Taylor. She's kind of a real young, good daughter. She's really, really like just a friendly person. And as the early part in the season, you got early on, Matt Saracen's really interested in her, but he's just too shy. He doesn't know how to get that point across to her. Ultimately, they end up getting together, and that creates some things, some conflict with Coach Taylor, and there's some funny moments with Coach Taylor. Again, his acting is phenomenal. Kind of his protection of his daughter is the moments when he's really trying to protect his daughter are some of the funniest moments of the season. His reactions to things. I really enjoyed him. And you got Lila Garrity, who is dating Jason Street, and her and Jason Street have all kinds of conflict throughout the season. Honestly, my least favorite part of the entire first season is when Tim Riggins and Lila Garrity have an affair together. She's the girlfriend of Jason Street. She cheats on him with Tim Riggins, who at the time, and really throughout the entirety of the show, other than for a little bit, is Jason Street's best friend. I've never enjoyed that storyline. I've always thought that was the weakest storyline of the season. Not that, it was... I get how it creates drama and things of that nature, but I don't like the idea. It just kind of sours me on Tim Riggins a little bit. He's probably one of my favorite characters. I want him to be one of my favorite characters, but when the idea of cheating with your girlfriend of your very best friend, let alone your best friend who just got paralyzed and his whole life has been turned upside down and virtually ruined at the time. I forgive him, and I think most people that watch the show forgive him, but in my mind it's should I forgive him? Because in all honesty, I probably shouldn't. It's a horrible fucking thing to do. But whatever. Tim Riggins is an amazing actor, and I think that's in large part why people do forgive him. All in all, it's just a terrific season. And again, if you haven't seen it, I really highly suggest you check it out. It's phenomenal. They find a good blend of focusing on football, but also focusing on the teen drama type of stuff. You got pregnancies, you got deaths or near deaths, you got people cheating on people, you got all kinds of different, anything, you got sexual assaults, you got pretty much anything you can think of you have in this first season. Some people may think it's overdone. For me, it's perfect. And I really do like, though, even though it is a teen drama, even though they throw so much in terms of drama into the show, they still have a lot of focus on football. And I think that's the highlight of the first season. When it's focusing on football, I enjoy it the most. Because I think Coach Taylor's the best actor of them all. And he's good. His acting is good throughout the entire, every episode throughout the entire first season. But particularly in the football-related scenes, when he's giving pep talks, when he's dealing with any sort of football-related things throughout the entire season, he's phenomenal. In terms of some of the best episodes from the season, you got episode 1, the pilot, which I referenced. That's a really good episode. I gave that a 9.5 out of 10. You also have the second episode, Eyes Wide Open, which I gave a 9 out of 10. Both of those are phenomenal. Then there's kind of a lull, Friday Night Lights, its bad episodes are still better than most shows' good episodes, but there is kind of a lull in the middle where there's some 7s and some 6s and some 8 out of 10s, but towards the end of the season, so I'm going to check my notes here. Towards the end of the season, the last 3 episodes in particular, Mud Bowl, Best Laid Plans, and State, those 3 episodes are phenomenal. So if I had to pick a top 5, it would be State, Best Laid Plans, Mud Bowl, the pilot, and Eyes Wide Open. Those 5 episodes are all phenomenal. And it's just like a storybook. The beginning is great. The ending is great. Not just great, they're phenomenal. And the middle is all solid and builds to the, it starts really intense, builds to the end. It's just really, really nicely well done. All in all, I think the MVP of the first season was Eric Taylor. As I said, and I could go on and for 3 hours about how great of a job he does in this first season. Just, there's so much emotion especially when he's giving those speeches. Like there really is so much emotion in those scenes. And I mean, I got to check out what he's done post Friday Night Lights, because I want to see if he's really that good of an actor in general with everything, or if this was just a perfect role for him. But all in all, obviously, to go into an entire review of the seasons and give you all the details about every character, it would take 3.5 hours, and no one wants to listen to that. But I just wanted to kind of let everyone know, if you haven't seen this show, or if you've seen parts of it but kind of got out of it, didn't finish it, it's an amazing show. It's an amazing season. And the little bit of information I gave you hopefully inspires you to check it out. And if you have seen it, comment and down below if you agree with some of the things I said, if you don't agree. But ultimately, Friday Night Lights is an incredible show, and the first season was no different than what the rest of the show is. It's excellent. So comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about season 1 of Friday Night Lights. Do you think it's a great season as well? And do you think that Eric Taylor was the MVP of the first season? See you guys, though. I'm out.